Dragon's Breath Tower inside of Dragon's Dogma 2 has a lot of items that you can easily miss and a lot of good upgrades that you really need to find as you progress towards the end game. I will be quickly going through all the major things that you can get inside of Dragon's Breath Tower. Let's get into it. Firstly, getting to Dragon's Breath Tower is not all that difficult, and you can go pretty much any time in the game, though it is a little bit higher level of an area, so be prepared for that. I would say about 35, level 40 is where you should be going. Now, as you can see, the actual location of Dragon's Breath Tower is all the way to the southeast, even farther southeast than Bakbatal, in its own separate area with a lot higher level enemies. When you first arrive, you will end up seeing a broken down tower, as you might imagine, along with a red dragon that's just hanging out at the top level. You will also be greeted by Sigurd, who is actually the master of the Mystic Spearhand vocation, who will help you throughout all your battles inside of this area because he also wants to fell that dragon. Now, going through this tower is going to be a little bit of a maze, but going from the very beginning when you first set onto the area, the first edge that you can come across is going to have a chest that's hidden against a wall that will easily be missed if you just go up the stairs. In this particular chest, you're going to come across some very needed healing items because you're going to have a lot of different battles with, again, you're going to end up fighting a dragon at the top level. Now, moving down to the basement level 1 floor, you're going to come across a bunch of different items and a bunch of different chests throughout this entire area, which is easy to find if you just either drop down into the basement or take the stairs from the first level, whatever you want to do. But you're going to come across a bunch of segmented rooms that are going to have a bunch of different items right across the area, and some chests that are only going to have gold. But a major item in the basement level is going to be the Frigid Finger, which is going to be a mage item that is very good at getting cold damage onto your enemies. Obviously, as you can see, it is a 40% elemental frost damage boost. Quickly moving on to the next major chest, you want to go for the exact room that we are just in, around the side where there's a little upheaval of rocks, into an area just next to the stairs where you can also find another broken ledge, another chest sitting right outside in the open. And inside of this chest is a very helpful item in this area, which is a fairy stone, which is just always good to have. Now we're moving up 2 levels to the second floor, and there's a couple different items in here that you need to break a couple different things to go through. Right next to the stairs, you'll see a very breakable wall, which you will then find a chest just hanging out right after you break that wall. This chest contains a sorcerer's staff called Anathema, and I will be covering the more details about all these different weapons at the end of the video, but know that this is probably one of the better sorcerer's staffs you'll find in the entire game. And thankfully, not too far from this same chest, you'll find one of the better items that you can give a fighter as well, which is the Dragon's Faith shield, which honestly is a shield that I will be constantly using every time I use the fighter vocation as well. It is just so strong. Now, on the 3rd floor, there are a bunch of different chests that you can get to a bunch of different ways as well. Now, what I'm going to quickly show you is the easiest chest to find right after you get to this level is through another breakable wall on a very close edge, and this one is actually going to have a Wakestone shard, which is very nice to have, especially if you don't have a Wakestone yet and have a couple shards on you. That way you have a Wakestone to fight the dragon with. Now, quickly backtracking to where we were before, you're going to find a chest hidden in an area that you normally want to be looking for, which is actually going to be right next to the stairs that you were at before. It's behind all the rubble on the right side of the stairs. You won't normally see this unless you actually know that this chest is here. Now, in this is nothing special, you just get a bunch of gold, but I think it's worth mentioning because you will easily miss this chest if you're not knowing that this is here. Finally, to the 4th floor, where 1, you're going to end up interacting with the dragon potentially for the first time if it hasn't jumped down to floor 3 to greet you, but as soon as you get to the 4th floor, literally turn around to the other side of the stairs and you'll find a chest just waiting for you to open it up. You're going to have Threshing Blades, which is a very useful tome to use against the dragon. You will come across this tome a lot in the game, but having something as powerful as the High Salamander spell at your availability to fight this dragon, I think it's really helpful. Now, finally, on the 5th floor, you will find a singular chest because it is by far the smallest of the entire area. As you're noticing, each floor gets a little smaller as you progress through them. You can get this anytime you want to. Obviously, I got it during my fight. It's totally up to you, but you get some more tomes that you can use against the dragon and to help heal yourself and your allies while you fight this thing. Now, if you thought we were done with the rewards for this entire place, you are dead wrong because there are still things you can unlock, especially after you have defeated the dragon. Now, of course, you go and fight this dragon with Sigurd, who is super helpful in this fight, and just defeat this dragon however you possibly can. Once you are able to loot the body, you will notice that you get a lot of good dragon items, but also a very particular Mystic Spearhand weapon that you don't normally find in a lot of other places in the game, or for free at least. This is the Dead Ringer Dual Spear, and I will again cover more details about this and the other weapons weapons you get in this tower in a little bit. Now, by far one of the most valuable things that you get in this entire area by defeating this dragon is that Sigurd is actually going to give you the Mystic Spearhand Mastery move, which you can then use and unlock the full potential of the Mystic Spearhand vocation. Now, I know that was a lot of stuff I covered, and when you do go to this area, you'll find more chests than I pointed out, but those mostly cover gold and not so important healing items. Now, again, all the different items that we're covering here are the major items you can find, starting off with the Dead Ringer for the Mystic Spearhand, by far one of the best duo spears you can get in the game, in my opinion, especially when you upgrade it. Moving on to the Dragon's Faith is by far the best shield that you can find in the game until you get to the post game. I personally wouldn't recommend any other shield. Next, we're back to the Frigid Finger, which I said earlier in this video is really strong for mages, mostly because of the elemental bonus of 40% to frost damage, really helpful in certain situations and certain enemies. Now, finally, the Anathema Staff for the Sorcerer. It has amazing debilitation of silence, which is great against other magic users in the game, and at an unupgraded level, it's just so strong in and of itself. We also can't forget the Mystic Spearhand Master move, Wild Fury. I have an entire video covering this, so if you want to see more details about it, please check out that video that I have linked down below. But nonetheless, this is absolutely one of the crowning items you get for completing this entire tower. Now, I hope you guys found this location guide helpful. There is so much stuff that you can find inside this tower, and I wanted to make sure that everyone finds the very important items in there, such as all the different shields, the weapons, and just the Mystic Spearhand Vocation Mastery move. It's just worthwhile taking a second to making sure everybody finds these, because I particularly think that is some of the strongest stuff that you'll find in the entire game. Let me know down below in the comments what your favorite item from Dragonsbreath Tower was. I hope you guys once again did find this helpful. If you did, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will catch you guys in the next video.